All right, y'all, I'm going to show you guys a clip, but before I show you guys this clip about Gypsy, which I think is actually very interesting, and I think you guys are going to be like, wait, what? I don't know if you guys have seen this already. You may not have, because I only saw this on TikTok. But before, I want to just say today I have a heavy heart. I really, truly do. Today's a rough day. And not because anything is going on in my personal life. It's more of just like everything that's going on just in the world. And these school shootings are just eating me up. So I was going to go live today, but I just rather not. But I saw this video. And I left the TikTok account name on there so you guys could go check out their page. I think this is very interesting. I'm going to play the video and y'all tell me your thoughts and then I'll comment after.
Hi, Nancy with the Toll. I'm here with my friend Emily Wilson. You heard her in trust issues. And we had that little bonus story in there about Gypsy Rose. I'm from Springfield.
I'm from Springfield.
Home of Gypsy Rose. And I was a news anchor, breaking news reporter, and covered from the second Gypsy went missing up until Nick's trial and the plea deal and all this stuff. So, every once in a while I run across people who have their own Gypsy Rose stories, and Miss Emily's one of them. Because you had an encounter with them through the Lymphoma Leukemia Society.
Correct.
And there's been a lot of talk about Gypsy and whether or not she truly had cancer. And, you know, the whole her mom kept her sick story and how that's all unraveling and all the stuff coming out. It's just crazy when I tell you stuff, isn't it? People around here don't know. I mean, she didn't know, did you?
There's always something new. And I'm like, how is there something new again?
Okay.
What else can there be?
So tell us your story. About your encounter with them and how you got there.
Yes, with Gypsy.
Yes.
So it was a brief encounter. I was just doing an event for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. My son had been nominated that year for Boy of the Year. He was, I believe, 6 at the time. And the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society has an event that they put on to where they would choose one boy and one girl candidate who had cancer. And they would kind of be like their face for that year, and they'd go do events and help do fundraising for the society. And one of the events was throwing the first pitch at the Springfield Cardinals game. And so my son got to go out there and throw the first pitch. And when we got there, Gypsy was there, and she's obviously very recognizable. She stands out because she's in a wheelchair. She looks very sick. She's covered up in a blanket. She talks very softly. I mean, it was just very like, I remember my heartstrings just going out to her and her situation. And I actually felt very grateful that, you know, my son was up running around and able to throw the first pitch. And, you know, I just made me count my blessings for my son. But, they got to be up there together, kind of get their picture taken, meet all the players, and then they each took a turn and threw their first pitch. So that was kind of my interaction. I do remember thinking when she spoke, I don't want to say it sounded fake because I don't want to ever accuse anyone of that, but it didn't fit. Her voice didn't really seem to fit her. And she was decked out like head to toe in like Disney. And I remember she had like little mater slippers on from the movie The Cars, because that was really big right then. And it just felt a bit young for her. And so I almost wondered if there was like maybe some delays mentally because of just how kiddish everything was about her.
My bigger question is, you know, there's a question on whether she actually had leukemia and mm-hmm. all the stuff. And because of the microdeletion, that's now, I mean, she has said it, that she has it. Mm-hmm. One of the symptoms is having leukemia. Would you have been able to do all this? Like, what was your experience with your son having leukemia? Is it something that you could have faked?
I don't know how I could have faked it, honestly. The testing that goes through being able to determine if they have leukemia is pretty intense. It's not just like a blood test, even though it's a blood cancer. They actually have to test your bone marrow. So they actually do a bone marrow test, which is where they go and take a very big needle, and they pull bone marrow from the back joint, your back hip bone joint. And watching that process alone is very traumatic. We were with Children's Mercy. I don't know what hospital, she was with when she was diagnosed, but they allowed me in the room when they tested for that. And it's not like they just guess that you have leukemia. It's not like they just do a blood test and say, oh, it looks like you have leukemia. There are, things that come about in your blood test, like his white blood count was incredibly off on its numbers. His hemoglobin was basically non-existent. So, there are things like that that give them an indication that something's wrong, that then leads them to the bone marrow test. But I couldn't have just gone in and said, I think he has leukemia. So I don't know how she could have done that, but it's a pretty intense deal to go through, for sure.
So many stories.
So many questions.
So many questions.
So many questions.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody does.
I don't know. So I just wanted you to meet Emily again, and that's her story with Jit. How was Dee Dee when she was there?
I don't remember actually meeting Dee Dee one-on-one. I had another small child at the time, so I was helping, kind of, my attention was divided a little bit. But I do remember her being very social, very bubbly. She acted like she knew most everyone there, which, now that I know who she was, obviously she knew the news anchor, she knew all the main players of Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So her presence was essentially just very bubbly and social and knew who she was talking to. But I don't really remember her being even really with Gypsy quite a bit. I think she was pretty social.
When you saw it on the news that she was missing and all this stuff was going down?
Instantly you recognized her. If you've seen her at one event, she stood out to you. You knew who Gypsy Rose was. Because I remember seeing, the home that was donated to them. And I remember thinking, oh, that was the little girl that, threw the first pitch, and so, she stood out. She was very prominent in Springfield as someone that the city really rallied around.
Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Thank you for listening to The Toll. I appreciate you. Bye.
Isn't that very, 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 very interesting? What do y'all think? Did she have it? I think it's a possibility. I know a lot of people think that it's not, but I've always had a gut feeling that it is a possibility. But of course, we won't know unless she released her medical records or all of them in its entirety. And she probably would never do that. But what do you guys think?
This Sarah Grace Patrick case is taking a wild turn. Let's talk about the walking contradiction, Kim, because she's the admin of the Justice for Jamie and Kristen group, and baby, she's out here spreading secondhand chaos like it's gospel. Because baby, how are you the main voice in the entire case and you still can't keep your own story straight? If that's not fishy, I don't know what is. In the Facebook group, Kim says Sarah did not hear the pew pew shots. She only heard the heart monitor go off. Okay, this is what Kim is saying. Look at these screenshots. She did not hear any pew pew shots that night. She heard my brother's heart alarm. Okay? But in her DMs, Kim is saying Sarah heard Jamie yell stop 3 times and also heard his final moments. She heard my brother say stop 3 times. And here's him while she blew out. Okay? How did you hear him scream and hear his heart alarm, but you didn't hear multiple pew pews go off in the same house? So the monitor beeped, but the whole thing was emptied out? Make it make sense, okay? Kim, you're getting on this internet talking too much. There's DMs conflicting exactly what you're saying. And if you're telling me you have nothing to do with this, why is your stories changing? So she admits she's repeating what others are saying, right? When asked about the info that she's saying, I read it on social media. No idea. I only go by what I've seen said by the accused family, okay? And on the other comment, she says, evidence will come up at trial. I just go by what I've seen, okay? So you mean to tell me the sister of the victim who calls the accused a monster and pushes claims daily is admitting she has no firsthand knowledge and is just parroting TikToks and hearsay? That's wild. And in this screenshot, she also says she saw the crime scene photos, right? In her original post, she claims this. I saw the pictures of my brother and Kristen. They were unalived. The police showed them to the accused, okay? Then says these were taken by the investigators, not the accused. But again, how did Kimberly see these pictures? She isn't law enforcement. She isn't the witness. She didn't even like Kristen. And she just admitted she learned everything from interviews and social media. So where exactly did the crime scene photos come from? That ain't matching up, Kim. You're out here being so messy and you're literally inserting yourself in this and you're showing you have something or you know who did this. Allegedly, okay? And let's not forget, Kimberly admitted she hasn't seen James in years and she really did not like Kristen, okay? So why is she the only one publicly speaking the loudest besides her daughter and pushing claims and confusing the facts? That doesn't seem odd. If you're going to be the voice of justice on this page, at least be consistent with the receipts. Because right now, Kimberly's facts are being built like Jenga, okay? And the tower is mid-collapse. The only thing clear here is that she's guessing out loud and hoping people don't notice the cracks. Baby, stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready because these contradictions are louder than the alleged pew-pew shots. You know, Kimberly, if you didn't do all this talking, you wouldn't look suspicious. You have to understand when everything is out in the public eye, we are able to pick it apart. And true crime people that follow true crime cases and investigate them can see the red flags. Because anyone that is this loud and you were not associating with these people, they didn't talk to you, you didn't like his wife, that's a bit odd. What I also think is very, very odd is why do you have a GoFundMe up? You didn't talk to these people. You keep talking about my brother, my brother. You did not associate with them. They didn't talk to you. You hated his wife. And if you hated his wife, it kind of makes sense as to why you're trying to pin something, allegedly. Because you're framing Sarah. You know something. You know something. And I know you know something. That's why you want creators to push the narrative that it is Sarah and she's a monster. But why do your stories contradict? Why do your DMs contradict? Yeah, you're smelling really, really crazy right now.
Oh, yeah. And if I'm lying, tell me how. Because I'm only talking about what you posted. So if I'm lying, that means you're lying. And I'm telling the truth about what you posted. So who would be the liar? I'm asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend.
Riri, this is a public safety hazard. This isn't lotion. This is crack in a jar in a bottle. I need the FDA, the CDC, and maybe even Beyonce to weigh in on this. What is this sorcery? Hydration? Out of pocket. I haven't been this moisturized since birth. The glow? Illegal? I know it's illegal at least in 12 countries. And the scent is giving a luxury dessert like salted caramel meets a warm baby hug, okay? Not overpowering, but just enough to leave strangers leaning in like, what are you wearing? And don't even get me started on the texture. Thick like a plot twist and silky like a scandalous secret. I put this on and suddenly I'm soft, shiny, and one compliment away from making bad decisions. Listen, if you're not ready to look edible, feel irresistible, and leave glittery fingerprints on somebody's heart, keep scrolling. But if you are, this is a sign. Add to cart. Your skin deserves to be disrespectfully fine.
Let me make something abundantly clear on this internet. When I get on here and I speak on a case, just know that I speak on stuff with receipts. And for those of y'all that have been following me for a while, y'all know that I'm like Mickey with the receipts. I May not divulge everything at the time, but when I'm saying something, I'm saying it because I know, not because I'm unsure, because I know. I don't like to look stupid. I'm a Taurus. So when I'm saying something, I'm saying it because I know. Baby, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it.
Breaking news. Karen Huger is being released officially next week. She's stepping out of the clinker and back into the scene, okay? Potomac might not be ready for this because, baby, she done served her time for her crime. And I think she gonna be a little wild now. Karen has been serving time since February for a DUI crash where sis wrecked her Maserati, okay? She swerved through a median and, baby, told the cops she was Thomas Jefferson, okay? Thomas Jefferson's concubine. That was iconic. And, well, she was sentenced to a year and denied work release and missed out on filming The Real Housewives of Potomac season 10. But now the Grand Dame is about to clock back in. Okay. Karen's confirmed her early release date is September 2nd, and that's literally next week. So unless they chain her to a flip phone and tell her to stay off Bravo, baby, we might see her pop back up into production by mid-season. She's reportedly sober, self-reflective, and trying to retire her Grand Dame persona. But let's be real. Once that confessional chair hits, she's going to be moisturized, mic'd, and messy again. In 3, 2. Listen, Karen Huger walking out of jail with a fresh lace front and a storyline, that's cinematic. I'm expecting rhinestones and a redemption arc. And all of these women in Potomac say, we missed you. So now that she's being released next week, do you want to see her back on Real Housewives? Or should the real Grand Dame keep her crown in storage and retire while she's still a meme? Stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready because the Grand Dame might just reclaim her throne with her ankle monitor couture. Baby, new allegations just dropped on Bishop T.D. Jakes, and this time it's coming from inside the family. Let's break it all down clearly because there's a lot of noise going on. And we really need to know the actual tea, so let's get into it. Now, Richard Brandon Coleman, who was married to T.D. Jakes' daughter, Cora, I don't know if y'all remember that with the whole scandal with the daughter and all that they adopted, okay, is now alleging that T.D. Jakes actually abused him. Now, these claims just came out publicly through his attorney. Now, this isn't the first time Jakes has been accused of stuff like this. Over the past year, several men have came out with similar claims, and Jakes has consistently, forcefully denied them. He's actually filed defamation lawsuits against some of these accusers, and just recently, a federal judge actually sanctioned one of their lawyers for misconduct in court. Now, that shows you that these cases are legally very messy. So where are we right now? These are just civil allegations right now. They're not criminal charges. They're not convictions. Coleman says he was abused and T.D. Jakes is denying it. And the courts are where it's going to get tested. Now, the key things to really watch for is, does Coleman file a sworn civil complaint with specific dates and times and details, right? Will evidence like messages or a travel log surface? And how does Jake's lawyer respond to these allegations? Is he going to be as aggressive in the court as the earlier claims? Those are the things to really watch for. This is serious, but we have to keep it clear. These are allegations only at this point. T.D. Jakes is denying them, and the legal process is where it's going to be ongoing. What's undeniable is there is a shaking in the church, okay? Especially in the T.D. Jakes World Church, okay? Because these are big claims and they're tied to one of the most powerful pastors in America. Drop your thoughts down below because y'all stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready because these accusations are getting messy.
You following me. You're recording me. I'm just trying to check my cat. You're recording me.
Cardi B really got in that courtroom and said, I was just trying to check my cat. You the one following me. The fact that the judge had to sit there, you know the judge was trying to keep a straight face, really, really struggling because Cardi is so unserious. Now, let's set the scene. The judge is trying to keep order in the court. The lawyers are grilling her. And Cardi, she just talking about the cat like it was subpoenaed to testify. Only Cardi B could turn a civil trial into a comedy special. Like, ma'am, this is a courtroom, not a comedy club. The cat did not need to be cross-examined. And this is what makes Cardi so unserious and so Cardi at the same time. Because this case is about some real serious allegations. The security guard is saying she got spit on, scratched up, and Cardi up here talking about, I was just trying to check my cat. Y'all, she turned the whole Law and Order vibe into Wild 'N Out. So yeah, forget about Bodak Yellow. This era is giving legal cat chronicles. And honestly,
Cardi is the only rapper who could beat a lawsuit and still go viral for an OBGYN comedy. Only thing about her, the bars might be on pause, but the cat is always a center stage. Breaking news, Taylor Swift is officially engaged to Travis Kelce, aka America's new prom queen and king, okay? And yes, he really put a ring on the friendship bracelet. Oh, and the proposal, it was just casual. A whole flower garden, Travis down on one knee, with Taylor giving speak now, but make it real. Sis' ring is emerald cut diamond, and honestly, it's so blinding, I'm about to call my optometrist. And their caption, your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. Baby, that is not an engagement post. That's fan fiction come to life. And let's not forget, this all started with a friendship bracelet at the Eras Tour. Travis said, if you like it, then you should have put your number on it. Okay? And 2 years later, here we are. Okay, Taylor, you did it! So yes, Taylor Swift is engaged, which means somewhere Jake just dropped his scarf again. And Joe, he's just practicing deep breaths. We're about to get the most romantic album rollout of all time. Congratulations to the gym teacher and the English teacher, because we will be the best seated at the wedding, child. Oh, I just got home and looked in the mirror and said, wait, I've had this foundation on since 6 a.m. It is now 1:42 p.m. And I have not touched up. There's no powder on this foundation. It's still glowy, but not oily. This is Skincare Meets Foundation by Estee Lauder Futurist. It has an SPF, skincare infused, and it's a foundation. 6 a.m. And I didn't even get a chance to put on my skincare this morning because I was rushing out the door to drop my kids off. Y'all, look. I am impressed. And the color match, look. No, like, look how it looks. I haven't blotted. No powder. I just knew I was going to be oily by the time I got back home, which is why I looked in the mirror, because I was going to apply powder. All I could say is add to cart. Like, look at my skin. Add to cart. Don't walk, run, and it's 25% off. Don't say I never told y'all about anything good. What is it going to take for us to take school shooting serious? What is it going to take for us to take the children serious? Because think about even the flood that took place. It was children at camp. And everybody like scrolls by and doesn't care until it's their child. Like, when are we going to start caring for the kids? The fact that children are going to school and praying and getting pew-pewed. But we're doing stuff about everything else that is not important. But the children, the future, we're not. Why? Like, think about the fact that a teacher going to school in the morning knows that it is a higher likelihood of them getting pew-pewed in a school than if they were working in Walmart. And they're there to protect your kids too. When are we going to do something? Like, at what point do we say, you know what? We got to put a stop to this. When? Like, when? I cannot grasp how we as a society have let these kids down over and over and over and over and over and over again.
I don't think I was like on a high level of angry. I was more on a high level of concern. Very concerned.
And why were you concerned?
Because I'm pregnant and this girl's about to fucking beat my ass. Hello?
Hello. Hello, I'm here. You said she's bigger than you? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
I mean, look.
I'm looking. I don't agree with that. What is your basis? Are you saying she's physically bigger? She's taller?
I mean, you have her medical records, right?
I don't have anything. I want to ask you the question.
I mean, I was 130 pounds at that time.
So she's overweight, right? In your opinion.
Objection, no.
She's a little...
You don't need to answer me.
Okay.
Cardi B in the courtroom today had me screaming. They tried it, and she snapped back with that Bronx energy like, baby, come get it. She's literally telling the attorney, I wasn't mad, I was concerned because I was pregnant and that girl looked like she could rag me and drag me across the floor. And that attorney really had the nerve to go, so she's bigger than you? Cardi should have leaned into the mic and said, I'm so small and tiny, she's so big and tall. That attorney tried to trap her into calling the woman overweight, and Cardi said, nope, sidestep that setup and dodge it like she dodges lawsuits. And the judge said, objection, overruled. Cardi's turning the courtroom into Love and Hip Hop Courtroom Edition. Okay, wig popping, everything going, and Cardi's just like making faces the whole time like, what? She doesn't even really have to say nothing crazy because her face says it all. She's so animated, and I'm here for it. Man, Cardi B cracks me up.
If you don't know what to do, resistance could also be not letting anything take your joy. I know there's a lot of people feeling very hopeless and sad right now because there's so much going on, and it's almost like overwhelming by everything and all the news and everything bad that's happening right now. But that's the point, is to have everybody so overwhelmed that people aren't really paying attention. And you have to just shift gears in your head and refuse to be sad and refuse to be overwhelmed. Do not feel hopeless. Do not feel hopeless. Do not let hope escape you. Because when you lose hope, you see no point. As a little girl, I used to suffer from really, really bad anxiety. And my mother always told me everything always works itself out. And as cliche as that sounds, it's true. One way or another, it will work itself out. Don't lose hope. Don't become hopeless. The world needs you. You are important. You are valued. And if we didn't have you, this world wouldn't be the world it is today. And there's so many people in this world that need you, that want you, and care for you. And don't let anyone or anything tell you otherwise. Don't lose hope. Resistance could be just being happy. No matter what, things could always be worse. Look at your cup like it's half full versus half empty. It could always be worse.